Taika Waititi is quite simply one of the best filmmakers we have out there right now. He just is. I don't give a crap what you think about Thor: Love and Thunder. I've got some thoughts about Thor: Love and Thunder too. He is, regardless, one of the best filmmakers we got out there. When you look at his films like Hunt for the Wilder People, which is awesome, which is where the kid from Deadpool 2 came from, by the way. When you look at What We Do in the Shadows, is like an all-time indie cult comedy classic now. Of course, created the show that came out of the movie, which was oddly just as good as the movie. You look at the Academy Award-winning film Jojo Rabbit, which is one of my favorite films of like the past 5 to 10 years. I love that movie. And then he burst onto the scene with Marvel doing Thor Ragnarok, one of the highest rated and most beloved of the Marvel Cinematic Universe films. And then, of course, he had his not so good day at the office with Thor: Love and Thunder. Okay, that's fine. Well, we recently found out that Taika was not going to be doing Thor 5. And saying that he'd kind of be too busy to do it over the next, he's got the next 5-6 years kind of spoken for. Now, in doing an interview, he kind of said that he never wanted to do Marvel. This comes from the folks at Variety. Write this. Taika Waititi revealed on a new episode of the Smartless podcast that he had no interest in joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a director. The filmmaker has directed 2 MCU movies, 2017's Thor Ragnarok, which is widely considered one of the best Marvel movies, and 2022's Thor: Love and Thunder, which is one of the franchise's most polarizing. The Oscar winner said he originally accepted Thor Ragnarok gig for money as he had just had his second child. This is what he says. You know what? I had no interest in doing one of those films, Waititi said. It wasn't on my plan for my career as an auteur, but I was poor. And I just had a second child. And I thought, you know what? This would be a great opportunity to feed these kids. And he goes on to talk about stuff like that. But here's the interesting thing to me. And admittedly, what I'm about to say is really all speculation, but it is kind of what I really see. I and a couple of other guys had a chance to sit down with Taika and meet with him just prior to Thor Ragnarok coming out in theaters. And what I can tell you is that this dude was so excited to be in the MCU. He was so excited to be in the Marvel universe. He was so pumped to be making this film. Like he wanted to be a part of this. He imagined being part of this. There's nothing when we sat down with him that made it remotely sound like, I never wanted to do this, but I needed to pay the bills. There was no sense of that. After Thor Ragnarok came out, it was a global phenomenon. He went on tour, basically. It was a big love fest, and that he couldn't wait to do Thor: Love and Thunder. But as fandom often does, once a director turns in one bad film, or subpar, or mediocre, or whatever term you want to use, the fandom turned on him harshly in only the way that we as fans have a tendency to do. Fandom, and there's no one part of fandom that does this. I find that this is true of all fandom. Like you could make 17 Oscar-winning films in a row. If you turn in one bad film that wasn't what you wanted to be, everybody turns on them. And they start to change the narrative. I remember when Rian Johnson did The Last Skywalker, or The Last Jedi. And, before that movie came out, my God, Rian Johnson's doing a Star Wars movie. Holy crap, Rian Johnson's one of our great auteur filmmakers. He's amazing. Then he made a Star Wars film that a number of people didn't like. Rian Johnson's always sucked. Keep Rian Johnson away from any movies now. I don't want to see anything Rian Johnson does. It's like all of a sudden everybody rewrote history. And the same thing happened to Taika Waititi. It's like, Taika's doing this. Did you see what a good job he did on those episodes of Mandalorian? Oh my God, did you see Jojo Rabbit? Did you see he just won his Academy Award? Oh my God, What We Do in the Shadows is so good. Hunt for the Wilder People. Then came Thor: Love and Thunder. And after that, it's become, keep Taika Waititi away from my movies. This guy sucks. This guy's awful. Oh my God, I don't want to hear anything about Taika Waititi doing one of my movies.
Yeah, which is funny because it's not their movie, it's Marvel's.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
But we as fans, we feel a certain ownership over things. So that's why fans will often talk like that, right? But it's this type of ravenous, toxic backlash that makes a lot of film directors not want to participate in our thing. Guys, we want to take a moment to thank a sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. Give yourself the gift of insane savings this holiday season with Mint Mobile's best wireless deal of the year. Right now, when you switch to Mint Mobile and buy any 3-month plan, you'll get another 3 months for free. That's 6 months of premium wireless service for the price of 3. And Mint Mobile lets you order and activate from home while saving tons on phone plans starting at just $15 a month. Seriously, I can't think of a better gift than turning an overpriced wireless bill into just $15 a month with Mint Mobile. I've told you guys many times, since switching to Mint Mobile, I am spending less than a third on my mobile service plan with Mint than I was on the previous big carrier who was my provider. By going online only and eliminating the traditional cost of retail, Mint Mobile passes the significant savings on to you. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily and effortlessly with eSIM. So again, for a limited time, buy any 3-month Mint Mobile plan and get 3 more months free by going to mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Rob, I think you remember like a couple of years ago, seeing what was going on with Rian Johnson and 1 or 2 other directors too. Like one of our favorite directors these days, Christopher McQuarrie, he basically just came sitting in an interview saying, "Oh, no, you comic book stuff and Star Wars stuff? Nope, not anymore. I grew up as a huge fan of that, but I've seen what fans do to people." So like it becomes, we as fans, we talked about it at the time, but I think we're seeing it more and more today, that we as fandom actually scare away directors we have. And I think we scare away other potentially great directors from ever wanting to come in and do the genre because they see what we do. They see what us genre fans will do to a director if we don't like one of the films that they do. Anyway, again, that might not have anything to do, Rob, with why Taika is saying, I never wanted to be a part of Marvel, but it just seems to me his statements the last number of months, he's really been separating himself from Marvel and all kind of stuff. And I can't help but speculate, and I admit it's speculation. I can't help but speculate that this is probably something to do with a lot of stuff we've seen other directors go through and talk about. Anyway, Rob, you heard the comments. What do you make of this?
Well, I totally agree. I mean, it's look, making movies, whether they're big budget movies or small indie darlings, it's so hard to make a movie, much less make a great movie. And you might put 2 years of your life into a film every single day, every single moment of your waking hours, you're thinking about this film, and it comes out, and then the fan base destroys you in a day. And it's got to be very disheartening for directors, especially people that have had some great success. And then you realize, because as a genre director, The Will to People and What We Do in the Shadows are great little movies. Great little
fabulous
movies. And we all love Ragnarok too. And then he comes along, and look, I've been guilty of, I did not love Thor: Love and Thunder, but I don't necessarily blame him. I think that they went too far in a goofy direction. But so somebody has a bad day at the office, but I can understand that. He wants to be an auteur because Jojo Rabbit's a fantastic film. He won an Academy Award. And why not lean into that and develop a career where your movies are revered and the work that you've done is respected, and hopefully you'll be able to have a career that lasts for a very long time.
It's to your point, it's just that, right? Like it almost doesn't seem like how good they are. Somebody in the live chat, I missed the name of who said it, but somebody in the live chat brought up a great example of this, said, who got it almost worse than anybody else was George Lucas, which is true. And I say this as somebody who hated the prequels. I mean, they're utter garbage. But the thing is, even though I hated the prequels, okay, I didn't like those movies. I will always have a shrine in my house to George Lucas. Doesn't matter if he puts out 85 more films and if they're all terrible. Doesn't matter. He's still George Lucas to me. There will always be a shrine, and I got a little picture and a couple of things of George Lucas in my house. As long as I live, I will have a shrine to George Lucas. It doesn't matter that I didn't like those movies, right? I just don't know why people's responses weren't, like people say who hated Last Jedi, weren't just like, oh man, I really hated Last Jedi. But, hey, It's Rian Johnson. He's great. Maybe this was just his bad day at the office. Or Taika Waititi. Okay, you know what? I really didn't like Thor: Love and Thunder. But he was due to have one bad one. Like, this is still the guy who did all this other great stuff. And it's just that we as fans are very quick to want to completely turn on our directors. I mean, we really, and I often find this when the directors don't make the movie we wanted them to make. You know, sometimes it's not even about the quality, but anyway, I just thought that was an interesting thing coming from Taika. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.